It's a mother wound in collective consciousness. And I've come across a creator that said this exact same thing, and it makes so much sense. Okay, go with me here. Many of us in today's world have a mother wound where we feel dutiful, we feel obligated to be the source of our mother's happiness. And what this does to our psyche, our subconscious mind, our inner child's narrative is we then live out this prolonged idea where we need to play a specific role so that our mommy remains happy, that we are there as our source for our mommy's contentment, right? Because I was raised in a very strange household, I would say. Okay. And this is not to make it seem like my childhood was like crazy or anything like that. But the narratives that I was fed, the conditioning that I was fed in my life really shows me the level of collective consciousness that this is streamlining through. Like many of us in society have this same kind of brainwashed idea. And in my personal belief, I believe this is connected directly to baby boomer parents. So if you happen to have a baby boomer parent, this may even be more potent for you, okay? Because that generation, I believe, had a very rigid, strict standard that they were raised with, right? So when our mothers then brought us up, the way that they did that was with control, was with feeling like they had to have everything in order for us to maintain our happiness, but then actually guilt tripped us into performing for their happiness. Does that make sense? Because many of us, like I'll give you an example. When I was growing up, I had to be a certain way. I had to act a certain way. I couldn't be too loud. I couldn't be too proud, right? And so whenever I would creatively express myself or authentically like express myself like verbally here, no, it was contradicted. It was wrong. There was a better way that I could do things, right? And everything that I wanted to do was always, there was always a better way to do it. I was always doing something wrong, right? And I was always doing something that wasn't of the proper way to get it done, right? And I still see that play out with my mom. Like she's still trying to control my life. Like I tell her something, oh no, you should do it this way. Excuse me? Right? So as young children, many of us grow up with this wound, right? Where we kind of like, one, we're belittled for our ideas. Two, we're then kind of like squashed, like saying, okay, well, that's not good enough. So then we have a fear of failure. Many of us, we just don't even move. We don't do anything. That creates laziness, that creates unmotivation. Like our spirit is so broken, saying we are unworthy to attain our own happiness because we're under the narrative that we need to live by our mother's standards of happiness. So you had this beautiful project, right? You had this grand idea. And then mommy said, no, it would be better if you did it this way. What does that do to your confidence? What does that do to your feelings of being accepted, of being encouraged, maybe even supported? Trashed. So many of us are in this world today feeling unworthy of accomplishing our own goals, feeling that we cannot accept our authentic selves. We're not good enough. So many of us were stuck in these dead-end jobs. We're working at crappy ass pay because we were societally programmed to believe that's what we're worthy of. And this stems back to a mother wound specifically because we are living under the rule of thumb of our mothers who try to control the narrative, who try to make sure that we stay into a certain line, either to make sure that we are obligated and dutiful to her happiness. We can't be happier than mommy. We can't be richer than mommy. And we need mommy to validate all of our creations. We need mommy's permission to give us the green light. And this conditioning literally squashes, kills our dreams. So if you have a problem and you are questioning, why do I stay at this crappy ass job? Why do I not follow my heart? Why do I feel so unmotivated? Why am I lazy? Why do I feel numb? Why do I feel dumb? Why do I not go out and co-create the life I want to experience? Look at your mother wound. Look at what your mother put on your mind and in your heart that says you should feel guilty for doing something that I didn't do. You should not do things that I never did. And you should not be better, more successful, make more money, or be happier than me because I raised you under the rule of my thumb to have you control the narrative of my happiness. Now, I'm definitely speaking from personal experience, but this is collective consciousness. This is a level that many of us need to break through the glass ceiling and say, enough is enough. I'm worthy of more. I can believe in myself. My aspirations are as true as I believe they are to be. Because when we are raised in that narrative, if we lack confidence, if we lack feelings of worthiness, if we lack feelings of personal stability, personal power, of course we're going to sit in places that are below us because we were trained to do that. We were trained to be obligated to people and places that don't serve us. We were guilt tripped, emotionally manipulated into situations within our mother's dynamics, within the parental and the child dynamic that created the narrative that you just have to suck it up and you got to do what you got to do and it's not your choice and you have to make sure that you're sacrificing yourself for somebody else. And if you ask me, that's fucking bullshit. So I hope this helped you. And if it did, make sure to comment below so that we can all share in on this amazing epiphany that is meant to change the world. If this is something that you also want to further dive into, check out the link in my bio. I have a reclamation guide for self-worth and an interactive activation workbook, which I think is phenomenal. Immediate download straight onto your iPad. You can write straight into it and it literally rewrites these narratives. It's 1:11 on my clock. It's time for us to come back into alignment. It's come back into personal sovereignty, to release these wounds, these narratives, these stories that we were fed, that we were guilt tripped into, obligated to feel, that we cannot strive for better than who we were raised by. That narrative ends now, but it starts with you.